The Boston Celtics start their training camp in less than 1 week on Tuesday, September 24th. And look, I know there's a lot of information going on out there about Exhibit 10 deals and two-way contracts and what the Celtics are going to do to try to defend their title. So I'm just going to put it all in one video and let you guys know. So here is our training camp preview coming at you about a week early before Boston Celtics basketball is back. And if you guys are looking for daily updates on the Celtics, you can find them right here on YouTube. But I know you're on TikTok, and I know you're on X. So go ahead and follow me. I'm at AR Barefoot on X, and I most recently created a TikTok called Boston Barefoot. I'll give you guys updates on the Celtics and the Patriots. So if you're looking for a one-stop hub for everything Boston sports, hit me on TikTok. Thank you. Let's go ahead and jump into what the Celtics can do heading into training camp. They can have 21 players participating in camp, and that does include the players that are already on the roster, like your Tatums and your Browns, and also includes your two-way players. And then they can sign a couple of Exhibit 10 deals, which is pretty much you get a 10-day tryout to make the Boston Celtics. And keep in mind, the Celtics do have 13 out of 15 players returning from last year's roster. Oshae Brissett, still a free agent. Svi Mykhailiuk, he signed with Utah. But that leaves one open roster spot on the 15-man roster to be signed by possibly one of these guys. So here are some Exhibit 10s that you guys should know about. Ron Harper Jr., the stud of summer camp, I should say. He did earn this Exhibit 10 deal after what he did for the Celtics in Las Vegas over the summer. And I actually really did like his play. He showed a lot of tenacity on both sides of the basketball, but I really liked his size when it came to the backcourt. 6'4", 245 pounds, and he really lets his presence be known. Coming out of Rutgers, 13.8 points in Summer League, which they only played 5 games, so not bad on the offensive side, but then tagged on 4 boards as well, and then 45.5% from downtown. The thing is, though, the two-way deals are already filled, so I could see Ron Harper Jr. probably spending a little bit more time with the main Celtics this season. But another guy that also stood out in Summer League was Tristan Enaruna. He also played alongside Ron Harper Jr., and he caught my eye, I'm not going to lie. He didn't start. He was mainly in that second, sometimes third rotation coming off the bench for the Summer League Celtics, but he came out of Cleveland State. Look at the size on the kid. He's giving Jayson Tatum size, 6'8", 220 pounds. He led Cleveland State in scoring. Plus, the number one thing that I noticed from this kid in Summer League was that he was a really good finisher. And you can always buy that with your garbage time minutes, having Tristan Enaruna, if he does end up taking that last place here for the Boston Celtics on their roster. But once again, I'm going to put him right there next to Ron Harper in Maine. But here's a guy that could actually end up making the Boston Celtics actual 15-man roster. You know him, you love him, Lonnie Walker. This was the first guy that really sparked a Woj bomb of the Boston Celtics, signing Lonnie Walker to an Exhibit 10 deal. Why? Because he's been a free agent all off summer, and then Boston finally picked him up, and it was one of those moves that Brad Stevens made that made everybody in the NBA go, how the hell did they get Lonnie Walker? Well, he was a free agent. Anybody could have gotten him. But last year for the Brooklyn Nets, he was a pretty solidified role player, almost 10 points per game, 2.2 rebounds per game, 1.3 assists, and then he shot 42% from the field and about 39% three-point shooter, which you know Joe Mazzulla loves. But another guy they most recently signed to an Exhibit 10 deal. They originally signed Jordan Shackle, but then waived him from that Exhibit 10 deal to make way for Dmytro. I'm not going to pronounce the last name because I'm going to butcher it. I apologize, Dmytro, if you are watching this, but I'm not very good with names at all. But here's what you should know about Dmytro is that he really spent most of his time with the Knicks G League team last year and then played for the Summer League team. So not Celtics, the Knicks Summer League team. But the reason why I think Brad Stevens really ended up waiving Jordan Shackle to make way for Dmytro is his height. 7'1". He is 2 inches smaller than Kristaps Porzingis, but 215 pounds. And last year, for the Westchester Knicks, he still averaged 12.1 points per game, 8 boards, nearly a double-double for Dmytro in the G League, 3.2 assists, and then 1.6 blocks per game. I love his stat line, absolutely. Depending on what he can do and how much of a splash he can make in training camp, I would love to have him in the main Celtics team and just to really see if we can pull him up more so towards the end of the season. But with Kristaps Porzingis' injury, 7'1", it couldn't hurt to have. So with that being said, let me ask you guys this question. Should the Celtics sign an Exhibit 10 player? Let me know in the comment section down below by typing Y for yes, N for no. If I had my pick, I'd probably take Lonnie Walker. He's got the most experience, and I think he can really be beneficial as your 10th man coming off the bench. But we're going to talk about that more in the back half of this show. I got to let you guys know about Factor. If you guys are looking for an easy, nutritious way to eat every single day and put in zero work, then Factor is the product for you. Go on ahead and get started with Factor meals today that gets delivered right to your door. It's ready to eat in just 2 minutes, and the best part is it's actually chef-crafted meals, fresh, never frozen. They're dietitian approved, so you guys can find what works for you. They have over 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, so you're always going to find something that suits you, your family, and even the pickiest eater. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. I love their smoothies. I don't do really well with my water intake every day, so the fact that their smoothies have 100% coconut water gives you that little extra hydration boost that you guys could need. Keep the kitchen time to a minimum. Factor Meals is ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Head to factormeals.com/chatsports50. Use code ChatSports50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code ChatSports50 at factormeals.com/ChatSports50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Let's get you up to date on the two-way players, which served as a really big role for the Celtics last year. Neemias Queta was a two-way player. J.D. Davison was also a two-way player. But the new guy here is Drew Peterson. He played for Maine last year, but worked his way up to get the two-way deal. But the really new guy is Anton Watson, pick number 54 in the most recent NBA draft. I'm really excited for Anton Watson. They're trying to just sharpen his skills on both sides of the ball, which is why he's not signed to the roster right now, but can serve as a really good piece for the Maine Celtics G League team. So that leaves the question of, who is the Boston Celtics 10th man? I know, what a great problem to have. We have to worry about who our 10th man off the bench is going to be, not our first. So guaranteed playing time pretty much goes like this. No specific order, obviously, but you got your starting five. That's on the left side of your screen, Brown through Horford. And I didn't even put Kristaps Porzingis in here because we're just looking at the start of the season, right? The right side is where you can start to experiment. Pritchard and Hauser pretty much have already solidified their role with the Boston Celtics, which I love. Tillman and Kornet signed an extension in the offseason that did allow them to have a bigger role this upcoming year, especially with no Kristaps Porzingis in the first half of the NBA season. But the 10th spot in this rotation, because what Joe Mazzulla really likes to do here is he'll put Derrick White and Tatum with Kornet and Hauser. He'll put Holiday and Brown with Pritchard and Tillman. So who's that number 10 player going to be? Well, it could be a number of guys here that can earn bigger roles. If I had my way, probably you can maybe see a more Jaden Springer role. He really popped off in Summer League. He's been really good on defense, but could possibly add a little bit more with his offensive game this upcoming season. Unfortunately, I don't know if Jordan Walsh really is your man. I know he's really young. He's 20, he's 21, so he's still waiting to really find his footing in the NBA, but I think Neemias Queta deserves to have a bigger role than Jordan Walsh, just like we saw last year. But Baylor Scheierman, the rookie on the block, also has a way that he can make a splash. And then Lonnie Walker, well, let's talk about everybody here individually, shall we? Because let's talk about Jaden Springer. The way that he had a very defensive role for the Boston Celtics last year in garbage time, I mean, he averaged 7.5 minutes per game. It was the fourth fewest on the team, but Jaden Springer is also the 8th highest paid player on the roster, so he needs to be a force on offense. He needs to show me that Payton Pritchard switch. Pritchard was kind of a catch-and-shoot point guard. He really thrived on defense, but he took it a next level this last season and made himself a well-rounded guard. I need to see that from Jaden Springer. And what I need to see from Neemias Queta is just better basketball IQ. I love his build. I love that thick body in the paint that just adds a little bit of muscle down low. But when Neemias Queta comes in the game, he almost gets fouled out like every time. And that can't happen, especially with Porzingis out. You're going to need to rely on Neemias Queta in the rotation. So show me the basketball IQ is still there. And I like what he can do in the box, 100%. And then we've got Jordan Walsh. Like I said, really hasn't figured out who he's going to be in the NBA. But the way the Celtics have used him is more of a defensive specialist. So if he can start to really put up points around the rim, I think he could find his footing more so in garbage time minutes. Baylor Scheierman, meet Sam Hauser Jr. They're really just trying to shape this man to be somewhat like Sam Hauser. Catch and shoot, three-point specialist, but he's also got that tenacity. He's got that defense that we love about Sam Hauser, locking up Luka Doncic in the finals. I think Scheierman is going to do well working under Sam Hauser this upcoming season. And then Lonnie Walker, you got to make the team first, bud. He's only on an Exhibit 10, but if he does, I do find his defense to be a little inconsistent, but when he's on, man, he's on. He's aggressive. He's scrappy. And I think if you do pair him with two all-defensive specialists like Derrick White and Jrue Holiday, and then give him Joe Mazzulla to lead the way, I think Lonnie Walker could thrive in Boston. My last question for you guys before I hop out of here is, who will crack the Celtics rotation? Will it be Springer, Queta? Will it be Baylor Scheierman, the rookie? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me.